Okay, all right, so this is the environmental engineering session to everyone who just joined with Randy. I think it's pronounced Lee? It's Lee,
Lee.
right? Yeah. All right. So yeah. So okay. So Scientology is a brief introduction. So Scientology is a youth-run nonprofit where we basically introduce scientific concepts in manner that is fun and comprehensible. It's free for students to use and to learn more about science. And we're basically a global organization, so we provide opportunities to students around the world, and then we also help them with English as their second language. So I'm gonna hand things off to you now, and have you introduce yourself?
All right. Hi, everyone. My name is Randy Lee, and I'm an environmental engineer, but I guess my current job position is titled Water Resource Control Engineer, but I still consider that environmental engineering. Uh, Brief background about me. My education was that I got a bachelor's in chemistry and a master's in environmental engineering. So you can sort of see right off the bat that they are different. One is geared towards science, another one is geared towards engineering. My previous work experience was that I originally, before the environmental engineering part, I was working in like a cancer research cell biology lab before my environmental engineering. And then I got another job where I currently work now right now as a water resource control engineer. Personal interest, I just had to sort of make something up at that point. It was besides, environmental engineering and sustainability, we all have hobbies outside of work. So I try to be more well balanced by reading like personal development books. I do like making money. So I read about like the stock market and investing. And now that I'm like still doing YouTube and everything, I know like the tech stuff. AI is really a booming topic right now, so I'm trying to just learn about that. And I'm pretty sure even in schools right now they're trying to, work with AI. And besides interests, I'm just trying to still learn things. So trying to implement my personal development books. I'm just trying to learn and better myself through hobbies, I guess. Some of those things are like learning how to do Boy Scout knots, trying to learn Spanish. I did learn during high school, but I didn't really ever use it. Trying to get better at swimming and, just learning basic life stuff like car maintenance. And something really interesting happened today or this year was that just having like living in my backyard was like a stray cat. So I don't know. It was sort of easy to approach it by just feeding it some chicken. And then now it's like currently sleeping in the backyard. So that's really nice that it still trusts me.
Yeah, that's very interesting. So you said, I just wanted to clarify. You said you used to work in a bio bioresearch lab, like
Yeah.
cancer. Oh, so what like prompted you to make the shift from that to environmental engineering?
Well, I guess during that time, this is during my master's, I applied to like internships everywhere across the school.
Hmm.
And I tried to like have it geared towards environmental engineering because that's what I was majoring in.
Hmm.
But
Ah,
I didn't
okay.
really get accepted into those internships. And the only place that accepted me at the time was that biocancer research place because they saw that my background was in chemistry and I have all these lab experience. So they took me in.
Ah, all right. That's interesting. Okay. All right. So guys who are attending, if you have any questions, just send them in the chat. We'll go over them at the end. Okay. So first, like group of questions I want to talk about were more academically focused. So yeah, so what originally made you interested in environmental engineering?
All right. So right off the bat, like no one really knows what they're gonna start off with being interested in during high school. So maybe I could start even with my high school background. During high school, I didn't really even really want to do environmental engineering or anything related towards sustainability. I actually wanted to join the military. I wanted to join the Marine Corps. So at that time, I had that after high school, but being Asian, having Asian parents, they want me to be like a doctor, a pharmacist, anything in the medical field. So that's why I initially chose chemistry. But I guess during college, I had the best of both worlds. I found a like Marine Corps recruiting office, and I still majored in chemistry at the time. So I was able to fulfill both my dream and my parents' dream at the same time. After a while, training with the Marine Corps for like about 3 years, I never got into the program, but I felt that I earned their respect, and they respected me. So at that time, I actually stopped, working with them. And basically, at my last year, like my third, fourth year of college, still majoring in chemistry, that was when I took some elective classes, water chemistry, and it was a little bit geared towards sustainability. And my professor at the time, we were in a drought in California, so he really pushed towards like climate change and all these environmental issues, and that made me interested in like what else can I do for the environment. And so again, in my last year of college, basically, that's when I made the switch towards something more sustainable, something towards like, the environment. So after graduating with chemistry, I started applying to like environmental science, environmental chemistry, environmental engineering, anything that had the word environment in it was enough for me to start applying to those schools.
Yeah, I think that's very insightful, especially as most of us are high school students, and we're still looking towards what we want to major in.
Mhm.
Um, so what were some of the like challenges that you faced during, well, it could be either high school or college?
Yeah, so I really feel for this. I know people, they really think that they know what they're going to be doing after high school and college, or like you don't know that. And, all of our plans change. So the biggest challenge is really just finding yourself and what is your true purpose. You could major in one thing, but then, 2, 3 years down the line, you switch majors like I did. The biggest challenge again is just finding yourself. I do recommend that you try to still stick within the same like area. So science, like STEM in general, chemistry and engineering, they're different, but they're not so different from like going from history to chemistry. Uh,
Yeah. Yep. Okay. Um, yeah, so I don't know. I think this is kind of similar to before, but like was what about environmental engineering itself is like the most interesting to you? Like a specific aspect.
so going into anything really, you just want to be better and change the world, right? Join the military, defend your country. During chemistry or pharmacist, being a doctor, you'd save lives. Environmental engineering, that was where I wanted to change the future with all these, new sustainable technologies or just trying to tackle climate change. We still want to live for the next 50 years. So that
Yeah.
appeals to me. I wanted to have or do something that would impact not just me at the time, but also future generations beyond me. Once I die, at least, my technology or my work trying to preserve the environment could sustain someone else after me.
hmm I don't know if I cover this later, but like I guess what type of work like does working at the Water Quality Control Center entail?
So we have many departments. I work in the industrial permitting department, but there's like things like groundwater and stormwater. There's many types of water that we don't cover everything because like they're very specific and there's lots of types of water. My industrial part is like for imagine a gas station or like a tank farm or sort of something that makes something like a product and it uses water to process it, and then they will have to discharge the water into some river. And like that's a dirty water, very dangerous water. Versus like storm water is just rainwater, we don't they don't really do too much about it.
hmm
So that's my division. And what we do is just we regulate the industrial part and say you can't just spit out like toxic water into the ocean or to this river because you're going to kill everything inside of it. So we have to make
Right.
sure that they are following certain limits. So you can make it dirty, but just not too dirty. Within these boundaries is safe for us. And if you go over that, you'll get in trouble.
All right, that's really cool. Um, yeah, okay. Did you like have any hands-on experiences? Um, this could be both like professionally or like in any internships that you had, and what did you learn from them?
So directly towards environmental engineering, to be honest, no, I did not. My first
Okay.
internship was like again, the
All right.
biology cancer research
Yeah.
one. So it's okay to not be or not to even like have that experience right away, so long as you could sort of tie in some skills that can benefit you in that field. So even like say you're working at McDonald's or Starbucks, that customer service that you have, that you build and that you tolerate can actually go a long way when you like actually work in a field where you could have angry people just emailing you or just dealing with people in general.
Yeah.
So it's not
Yeah.
like, yeah, it's still good to have these side jobs or part-time jobs that don't even relate to your field.
Mm, yeah. Okay. Um, oh yeah, okay. I guess kind of touching on what you said before about like creating lasting impact. Is there any like, I don't know, I guess device in specific or like some type of like benchmark or goal that you want to achieve?
So my work, we don't deal with technology though. Like I know if you're
Oh,
going towards like academia, that's when you're probably gonna do research and then probably produce some paper or have some
hmm.
patent or something that's more tangible in the end after your papers. But my job really is just to protect the waters that the industrial facilities are like discharging into.
Yeah. All right.
Uh,
Okay. Um, oh yeah, what was your like moving on to like the college experience? What was your favorite thing about it as a whole? Or like,
yeah,
yeah.
so like undergrad, okay, well, it depends on your field. There are people who like if you're in STEM or engineering, you're probably gonna have sleepless nights, all-nighters, just sleeping in the library and everything. So part of me was like that. I didn't sleep in the library. I wasn't that extreme, but I did have to sort of sacrifice some enjoyment of the college experience. But that being said, you should still have fun and like enjoy your life because it's only there for a few years. Everything about
Yeah. Sorry. Sorry about that.
oh,
Yeah, so basically like what was I saying? Oh, so basically like the I guess like the people and the environment there
yeah.
or
So even though you're suffering in class, the
uh-huh.
friends that you make and the classmates that you hang out with, during your homework and all-nighters, that is more memorable than like getting drunk and going to parties, to be honest.
Yeah. All right. Very interesting. Okay. So for people who are also interested in pursuing a similar field, what are some tips or like tricks or words of advice that you have for people who want to enter that field?
So again, going back to being that it's okay to not know what you're majoring in, you don't have to start off right away with environmental engineering because engineering is a pretty tough field. My tip for like high schoolers is to take as many STEM related AP classes that you can take. So like AP Calculus, AB, BC. I mean, whatever your school can offer, and honestly, whatever you can handle and pass. It's not, you don't just take it just to take it and then end up failing all of them. If you can do well in math right now, it'll carry over towards like undergraduate and even like grad school. So grad school, like their math is, beyond and like more advanced in calculus, but if you can master that now, it'll help you and save you a lot of time.
Okay.
Uh, yeah, I think that's mostly it. Just make sure that you have a plan going in. It doesn't have to be the perfect plan because you might change, but try to master what you want to do and can handle.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Um, yeah, okay. Then moving on to like in college, you said you spent a lot of late nights in the library doing work. So how did you like balance like your workload and like I guess the fun? Like did you have like a schedule or yeah,
So you definitely do have to plan things in terms of like scheduling and time management. That's where you, as just like a general life tip, that's what you'd want to do. I do recommend not taking like the 8 a.m. classes because right now during high school, yeah, you may wake up at 8 a.m. and it's fine now in high school, but in college it sort of hits different. Uh, for sure, have a plan or schedule. Either use like a calendar, Google Calendars, or even planner. Just write down like your classes. Those are the mandatory things that you have to schedule for, and then know again what you can handle. People take way too much on their plate to try to volunteer and do internships and do research and try to go to the gym and hang out like that. Eventually, you're gonna have no sleep. There's those three categories of like sleep and like friends and doing well in school. Like you can only choose two. That's pretty much that is true. So
yeah,
just make sure you choose your priorities.
okay. Yeah, okay. Then, so in college, how did you approach building like relationships with like your professors and also like people who are working in the field?
Okay, so this is coming from like an introvert. Back in high school, I didn't really talk too much, kept to myself. Then once you're out in college, you were just like living your own life. No one's really telling you what to do and telling you to like go to the professor if you have any trouble. Sometimes people just keep it in and sort of struggle when they should, ask for help. To start this, just know that for the most part, professors, they don't really get approached. So even though they are like, I guess, intimidating, they're still human beings who like to talk also. So either you could just maybe anonymously or just send like an email to them, just introduce yourself saying, I'm a student in your class. I'm interested in XYZ or I need help with XYZ. Then they can help you through emails. And then maybe even after their lecture, you can approach them after class. So everyone's gone at that point, just you and the professor. Approach them after class and say, can we talk about, my struggles? Or even some professors, they have what's called office hours. So during lecture, that's when all the students show up and they lecture. And then after that, they designate like maybe 1 hour during the week where students can go up to their office and talk to the professor like one on one, or depending on how many people actually show up. But during those office hours, no one really shows up. So imagine like a room full of 100 students in a lecture, maybe two or three show up. So when you do show up to office hours, you are like you stand out way more to the professor knowing that the student actually puts in the effort to talk to me and he's proactive. So that can really build into things like he might even approach you and ask you, hey, I have a research opportunity. Do you want to do it? You build that relationship if you are more willing to put in the effort to attend his office hours or just approach them in general.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Um, okay. Yeah. Do you have like any, I know you said you like found your like path more later in college, but did you like do any activities or like anything that students who are also interested in uh environmental engineering could do?
Yeah. So during college, there's many clubs you can join. And again, it doesn't even have to be related to environmental engineering. You can join like, soccer club or just whatever club, cultural club, and Vietnamese club, like any cooking club you want. And you'll find out that people from different majors, different fields, whether it's environmental engineering or business major or history major, they all come together for the cooking club, for example. I would recommend that you just go to whatever you're truly interested in, just talk to people, make friends. And then once you realize, what they're interested in or what major they're in, you can learn a lot from them and it doesn't even have to be related towards like your environmental engineering field. Uh,
Okay. Um,
I mean, I guess there's no right or wrong answer to that. It's just when you just go out of your way to join some club that's not even not related to your field, you'll discover yourself and you'll realize your strengths and weaknesses.
all right. Okay. Thank you. All right. And then I guess this is kind of already covered, but I don't know. A lot of word of advice for a student.
Don't push yourself too hard. It's it's not a path for everyone, and I know there'll be people who bash on you, like say before my Asian parents, they would say like, "What does the environment even mean? How's that gonna help or make money?" So,
Right.
I mean, in the end, COVID hit, the medical field was sort of dangerous just because of the whole pandemic. And then people in like the IT working for computer science, that was like the next rage, the best thing to make a lot of money. But then now this economy is getting laid off. Environmental engineering and just the environment in general is still a new sector. People are scared because they don't know if they'll survive or find a job. But I'd say now is probably the perfect time because it's not saturated. Like no one knows about this field. No one wants to get into it because they're scared. But then we all know that in the future, we all breathe the same air, eat the same food, drink the same water. And no matter what, the environment's sort of getting worse because we're just polluting it. So if you ignore the problem, eventually the problem will be so big that you can't ignore it anymore. And that's where we show up. And like I've already sort of stabilized my career because water is a big issue, at least in California. So if you can get in before it gets saturated, you've secured your position.
Okay. All right. So I think that was the final question. So it's now turn to any Q&A. So if you guys have any questions, just send them in the chat.
Yeah, you can ask me any personal questions. I'm pretty like an up and open book. I don't think I'm too intimidating to approach. You could ask me whatever experience in college too.
While I wait for them to send some questions, I also have like a few. So one of my questions was, do you see like any way that like AI can be implemented into like the field, or is that
Yes.
like
Yes.
okay?
I know AI is sort of taking over everyone's job. Even like lawyers are sort of scared now because they can read like 1,000-page documents in like 5 seconds versus a lawyer. For my field, I mean, we use for say calculations on how to find certain limits for how much a discharger can pollute. So imagine like a dangerous heavy metal. You can only pollute between like 10 micrograms and like 5 micrograms, and that's it. That's your limit. And we have some Excel sheets and calculations to automate all of that, so we don't have to do like the whole 5 hour hand work.
Right.
That's one thing. That's just like an Excel sheet, but some just writing in general, like even grammar wise, how to structure an email, how to write certain like paragraphs grammatically correct, because people learn grammar differently, or international students might speak or have accents. At least I use AI just to say, hey, quickly, can you proofread this email to my boss, or like to this part of this paragraph? Can you like make it grammatically correct and professional and avoid like slang? So, and he'll just spit out some perfectly crafted paragraph, and I'll say, okay, this makes sense. Very simple, concise. Everyone could understand it. Like whether you're professional or just a beginner who doesn't understand all these fancy language, this AI can sort of just make it very simple for everyone to understand.
Yeah. All right. I'll also ask a more fun question. Well, what was your, I wouldn't say like favorite, but I guess most entertaining experience in college?
Entertaining. So I'm not really a party person. Like they have concerts and I would go to them, but they're sort of too loud for me. And people like they drink and I don't drink it or anything. So avoid the people who do like drugs and drink a lot. Partying is not really not for me.
All right.
The most entertaining part or just fun things in general is finding your group of people that you like. So if you're the weirdo from high school and you like anime or you like whatever weird hobbies you have, there will be someone in college who has the same weird things that you like to do. Hang out with those people that you like, and then so long as you aren't like harming people, it's fun to do everything with the right group of people.
All right. I think that's all. So all right, I'll just talk about so this is our magazine on our website that we collaborated with some other organizations to make. Just has a bunch of like engineering stuff in it. I haven't really checked it out, so I can't talk too much about it. But yeah, these are our socials. So our website, Instagram, and then our email, and then yeah, so you can this is if you want to work with us as a organization. Um I have a bunch of different teams, content, editing, art, outreach, social media. If you want to submit any type of STEM article or anything, we can put it in our magazine or blog. And then yeah, you can join our mailing list if you want. So these are our partners that we partnered with for the magazine. And then, yeah, all right, Randy, thank you so much for tuning in. Uh, but for everyone else, please tune in at our next session in around, I think, like 4 hours. All right, thank you.
All right. Okay. Thanks everyone for showing up. Bye.